And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
Welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live, everybody. It's Wednesday night, 8:15. We're going to get going. It's going to be me and Lou tonight. Had some breaking news happen about, hour and a half, 2 hours ago, somewhere around there. Jeff Passan Breaks left-hander Framber Valdez has come to an agreement with the Detroit Tigers. Annual average value of about $38 million for the next 3 years for Detroit. So interesting. I didn't even, let's get this started right off the rip. Before we get to the main topic of the Giants window, Lou, I totally forgot about AJ Hinch's connection, right? He was his manager for a little while, right? When he was in Houston. Granted, he won the World Series with, no, he did win it with him. I think he was still on the team when they won it back in 17, right? I can't remember if he's on the team yet. I think he might have been, but there's a relationship there. But I never thought that Detroit was going to drop that money. I think there's going to be something else afoot with that one, but we'll talk about that as we go along in the show. So, what'd you think of that move there, Lou, with Valdez going to Detroit?
You know what? The rest of this offseason, I'm not going to hear that we're on for anybody else because for the last 2 weeks. Eric, being the number one fan, wanted Valdez, but it was always New York, Baltimore, and the Giants. Detroit was never mentioned. All you heard is Detroit was going to trade Skibble. I love this for Detroit because now they have a two-headed monster.
For this year. For this year,
yeah. But it also tells Skibble that, hey, we're serious. We're going to do it. The other thing we're not really talking about with Detroit is they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, they've had a winning record, better record than the Giants. They're in a division that's not that tough. And I think maybe they did it for the reason, hey, Skubal, we want to win and we want you to be part of it. We now have a two-headed monster. I think it's great for Detroit because I think it's one of those things where everyone was sort of down on Detroit. They're going to trade Skubal. They're going to do this. Detroit's done. And you know what? Again, we bring this up probably the last 3 shows. It's amazing how 48 hours can change your attitude toward the Giants.
I know.
No, but I was sort of caught off guard. I was really caught off guard because not that the Giants didn't get him, but who got him, the money-wise.
Right.
And, the deal is 3 years. It's not that expensive. An opt-out after the second. But, the Giants could have done this. And I know we're going to talk more about it, why the Giants maybe didn't do it, but it sort of caught me off guard, and I would have loved for him to be a Giants because it would have solved a lot of problems. But that's baseball.
Ain't that the damn truth, Lou? And that's baseball for San Francisco Giants fans. It just is. One thing is guaranteed. Hey, what's up, Derek? What's up, dude? Hope all is well with you, Derek. It's a damn guarantee that Skubal will not be a Tiger next year. There is no way in hell that the Detroit Tigers are going to spend that much money on Skubal. By the way, whatever happened with the arbitration hearing? Did you hear anything? I have not seen anything.
No, they were still far apart. I think it was like 32 to 18.
Well, today was the hearing, so they had to come and do a decision. What was the decision? Anyway, hey, anyone out there? What's up, Dom? Dom's out there. I haven't heard any news. What was the outcome of the arbitration? He's either getting 32 million or he's getting 19 million. So it's up to the arbitration guys to figure out what it's going to be. So decision is expected tomorrow, says Armand. JB says the same thing. Well, there you go, man. Been good, Anthony. How you doing, dude? So let's see what happens. Skubal will be a Dodger. Book it. Hey, yeah. And it's funny because just to put it out there, Marty Lurie, I was on with Marty Lurie and Glenn Kuiper earlier today. And Marty said Skubal is the guy that he wants the Giants to go after. And I was like, wow, that's Marty coming out and saying that. He's like, yeah, he wants Skubal. And I get it, right? Who wouldn't want Skubal? I mean, come on, you're talking about the creme de la creme, but he thinks that's the guy that the Giants need to target. And look, well, we're gonna go down that road again, Lou, this time next year, right? And let's not forget, who is Skubal's agent? You think it got crazy this year? Now you got Skubal on the market, and look, he may get traded depending on what happens with the Detroit Tigers. Again, you don't know. It's possible that they go out there and they may trade him in the offseason, or during the trade deadline. Again, games play out and see what happens. If they're in it, I'm not going to trade them.
And again, with a young manager too, with AJ in charge, if they do trade him to the Dodgers, if you remember what the Dodgers were thinking about giving him, they're now getting another ace. Don't have to pay him $60 million. They're only paying him $35 million. And they're going to get all those prospects. And it's money they're saved because they're getting probably 5 players and they're thinking of the future. And I think, when we talk about the Giants, sometimes we hold on to our players, assuming they're going to come back. So if Detroit trades them, they're getting the best of both worlds. And I'm glad we don't have to worry about Detroit because they're in the American League. They're not in our division.
Right. And now, and look, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, talking about the Giants window, because the window is now. I'm sorry, but the window is now. Marty talked about it last night on his show, and it's something I kind of been alluding to throughout the offseason. When you have guys such as Chapman, Adames, and Devers is your foundation, you only got a finite amount of time with these guys, right? So if you're going to
I'd say 3 years when they play every year, not if there's a lockout too. You got to
right. Well, there you go. That's a good point. I mean, right now, Buster Posey, and I still stand by this, he's doing a fantastic job filling holes, but you're taking it up to the finish line, but then you're kind of just backing off as soon as you see that ribbon, right? And I'm like, man, you got to take it across, man. You got to take it across, because I still don't trust the rotation going in. I just don't. I understand you got some young guys out there that can maybe break through, but man, we're talking about what ifs again, and I don't want to talk about what ifs. I want a little bit more, especially in this pitching rotation. I want some more clarity. I want some more when we're talking about the rotation, and I don't know. I don't know how they're going to get this through. Look, if Hauser and Malley are good, and look, for all intents and purposes, Lou, the first couple of months of the season may be okay, right? Because they're healthy. It's early into the season. But as the season progresses, are these guys going to start breaking down? And I'm concerned about that. And yes, sure, you got some young guys that could come in and absorb some of these innings. But man, I don't know. Buster Posey, and this is something that's been talked about, pitching and defense. Defense, right? You were there with Bader, not so much with Arias, but Arias, again, we've talked about this ad nauseum, is a fantastic pickup because it helps your lineup. But the pitching, man, and how about this? The damn the bullpen as well. You've talked about it, Lou. How are you going to fix this damn bullpen? And I'm telling you something right now, Max Scherzer better not be a freaking Giant. I'm telling you right now, Max Scherzer better not be a San Francisco Giant. He could go somewhere else. I don't want Max Scherzer on the damn. We don't need that. We don't need that. And again, and I'm looking a little bit. I'm projecting a little bit ahead though. Where's that rotation going to be next year? I don't know. I mean, that's all questions we can answer later.
No, and Eric, you bring up a great point, because the last 2 years, if you remember, especially last year, the Giants pitching staff was 60 for 5-man rotation. The bullpen was good, but literally right around the end of June and July, it started getting fidgety. And by August, it was brutal. We were bringing guys up we've never, ever heard of that were good for the flavors of the week. And you can't do that. And it's constantly that we're doing that, and that's sort of the frustrating thing because we know, hey, the defense has gotten a tad better. The offense with Arias has gotten better, but it doesn't matter. And we talked about this the other day. These first two, we were hoping to get a third to be, do 100%. When you only do 70%, the results are going to hit you soon. Either the starting rotation is going to get hit or the bullpen. Because right now, we still have so many guys on our 40-man roster where if you go down there, can they make it a whole season is a big question. What happened, as Glenn says, we've been pretty spoiled where hopefully, but say something does happen to Webb. Do we have guys beside Ray that we can really count on? And, this first month of the season is so brutal. We're just hoping we can survive. But when you have guys that have never really been through it or coming off injuries where they can't go 100%, that's got, that's disaster happening. Our schedule is tough enough, but then when we're putting starters out there and the bullpen where we have questions, it's got, it could just be tough. But hey, that's baseball. That's why they play them. Every year there's always some team that comes out of the blue. Look at 2021 when the Giants won 108 or 105? I can't remember.
107.
We weren't expecting that, and we did it. But that's why they play the games.
That's why you play the game, right? And that's the beauty of the game, man. Right? We can all sit here and we can all agree. We're sitting out here just giving our ideas of what may or may not happen. It may come through. It may not. A lot of times it doesn't, but that's the beauty of baseball. You just come on in and you talk about it.
And Eric, we just saw it. Indiana Hoosiers college football just won the national championship. If you go back the last 50 years and you take last year out, this team was one of the worst footballs ever. They were so bad, they were thinking about giving up college football.
Wow. Well, there you go.
That's how bad it was. They were a joke, and now they won it. So things are possible, but, they have a great coach. They have a system where they don't go after all the super expensive guys. They get guys that basically make the team a team. And that's what we're sort of hoping with the Giants, and I'm hoping that's what Buster says. Hey, the Giants have a mentality. We're looking for these guys, especially when they won in 10, 12, and 14. If you watch any of those old shows, everyone put their ego away and they did whatever it takes to win. And I think last year, that's not how it was. I think that they were against Melvin. I think a lot of these guys were ego driven. Hey, I'm the new guy in the block making all this money. It was just, there was something missing on the offense. Even when people made mistakes, you had coaches that weren't, going down, and the public could see it, but the team just wasn't really a full 26-man roster. And hopefully, with the new blood up top, a college trying something different, maybe, that's all I want. I'm not expecting this team to be champions. I'm not them to winning the division, but I want them to be, when I go to the game, I enjoy the product. I don't want to see dumb mistakes. Like last year, you go to a game and they always say baseball, you're going to see something you haven't seen. I'd go to a game and it was something that I've seen 8th graders do better. Guys getting picked off, guys at the same base 2 days in a row. A guy letting a strike 3 go by when it's right over the plate. Like, dude, what are you waiting for? And that's where I just hope they're, I want them to be fun. And I think last year with the Giants, they weren't fun. The way they were winning, Little League World Series, that's okay once in a while. But, you want a team where you get excited. When you wear that SF hat or the jerseys like we all do, we want to be proud of the product on the field. And I think that's really what I'm hoping for.
There you go. Here, there's a couple of chats I want to get here too, because it alludes to what we're talking about here. First off, Taylor Chicken, $38 million a year for Framber is too much. Oh man, okay. I'll tell you something right now. If that's what Framber is getting, how much do you think Scooble's going to get next year? He's going to go over 40. He's going to get more than $40 million a year. So there you go. That's a little food for thought to think about next year. Sean the Burrito Man, what's up, Sean? He goes, I feel like they got Malley, Hauser, knowing they'd be fine, not adding more if it came to that. Yeah, maybe. Mr. Skank Pants, what's up, dude? Says Giants lineup is looking good. I think we've all talked about that. Pitching is what is missing. That is correct. And Johnny, he chimes in, says, it stands right now, the best bet is to go get Gallen. Now, here's the thing. We talked a little bit about this right before we went live, Lou. What was one of the reasons? Was it the price? Was it giving up the penalties? Right? You talked about that. Did they not? Right? Did you not want to give up that second round pick in the upcoming draft? Did you not want to give up the 500
too,
the
international draft has been so good for us. Maybe they think, hey, there's a player that we want, but at the same time, it's not too often that you get a chance at a stud. I mean, this guy's a stud. I don't care that maybe he didn't get along with everyone, but he was a stud on the pitcher, on the mound. He was one of these guys, oh, shit, that's who we're going against, and it just would have made Webb's job a little bit easier and Ray. I don't really care about the money because I think the upper echelon pitcher is probably about $30 million. This guy was the number one pitching free agent, so he probably deserves $34 million. I don't know if I would pay if I'm an owner, but he was probably worth $34 million. I mean, look at the stats. And the other thing is, why do you guys think Eric and me wanted him so bad? I mean, the guy's that good. I know it's not our money, but it's only 3 years. So, and if you want the best, you got to pay.
Yes,
it's one of those things. That's how it is.
And look, and it just looked like, and you know what was starting to concern me, Lou? It started yesterday, with news that the Blue Jays were getting interested in Framber Valdez. And then earlier today, the Pittsburgh Pirates were being one of the more aggressive teams and wanting to get Framber. And I'm like, man, this is not boding well for the Giants because remember, for the longest time, it was the Giants, the Orioles, and the Mets. Those are the guys. Now you added the Blue Jays, you added the damn Pirates, and then out of nowhere, no one heard about this. It was silent. No one heard about this.
We were saying he probably wanted 5 years originally when he became a free agent. And he goes, all right, let's do 4. And who knows, maybe last night or today, he goes, I'll do 3. And it came down to whoever pays me the most. It could have been because maybe a team like Detroit and Toronto goes, we don't want to give him 5. We have a young stud that's going to be a stud that we're going to have to pay in a couple of years anyway. Oh, 3 years? We're interested now. Sometimes that's the big difference, from 3 to 5. So
now here it is. And then I think it was Jimmy Barstow. So would you be okay now? Gallon isn't going to be as much, but it's going to cost you a second round draft pick and it's going to cost you $500,000 in international money. Would you be okay if the Giants signed Zach Gallen? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. He just doesn't strike me as a guy that's like, I don't know,
I'd rather wait for somebody.
Right.
I think he's good. He's above average, but he's not really a difference maker. And I think that's what the Giants need.
And you know what? And for all intents and purposes, I think we could sit here on February 4th, Lou, and say the rotation is going to be Webb, Ray, Hauser, Malley, and Roop. That's where it's going to be. That's the rotation going into the 2026 season. Right? I mean, I don't see it being any other way, honestly.
And then here's the other thing. When you start a series 3, 4, 5, does that scare any other team? That's just all right. All right. We don't have to worry about Webb or Ray. All right. Hey, we're going in mentally. We're going to take 2 out of 3. That's what I see.
And look, and we said it earlier, got to play the games, right? And look, the start of the season may be fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Because look, everyone's fresh. It's as the season prolongs, that's where my concern is. Because after Webb and Ray, who's going to pitch you more than 100 innings, man? That's the thing that concerns me. Look how many, hold on, let me look real quick. Robbie Ray last year, how many innings pitched he had? I don't think it was, I think he got about to 150, right?
Yeah, and then his second half of the season, because he was 8-2 at one point, but he was now, I know it was the first year after the surgery, but again, very lucky.
He went 180. He threw 180.
Okay. That's probably
but those last 40 innings or so
were mysteries.
Yeah, he was starting to give up a lot more contact. He couldn't get out of jams. It was getting a little weird. Now, granted, and that's okay. And that's, for me, that's not a big deal because this is his first full year coming off of Tommy John. So I expected that. Yeah. This year, now, of course, it might be a little bit different. So we'll see how it is. He has had history of being Jekyll and Hyde, right? Where one year he's really good. Next year he's not. So we'll see what.
Yep.
There goes my internet acting up. So bear with me. But
no problem.
I don't know, man. I cannot get behind just the way. Look, I love that Webb and Ray are on the team. Don't get me wrong. I want to see what Rip got, but
there's just too many questions.
Something's nagging at me, man. It's nagging at me that I just don't know if this is going to be enough.
Eric, here's the other thing. Our 3, 4, and 5 guys are really all coming off injuries from last year. Root went down. He wasn't 100%.
Root went down.
His arm got
went
bad.
Down.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing where, hey, that was last year and it's baseball injuries. But,
yes, correct.
The problem with the Giants is a lot of these people we pick up, they all seem to be coming off injuries. So we're sort of disappointed when either they go back on. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, Yaz was playing well. I got upset at the coaches because I think he pulled his hamstring, it seemed like 6 times. Every time he was out for that. And it just sort of gets old. That's just one of those things. So,
and look,
what are you going to do?
And this is what it frustrates me. Vintage oddball cards. Hey, what's up, buddy? Buster Ollie said he likes starting pitching. What he really means is ownership is a bunch of tightwads who don't care about winning. Huh? Right? And look, that's something they're going to have to live with that. I'm sorry, you are. As far as what the fan base is concerned, if you're going to go out there and all of a sudden the rotation is coming apart, well, guess what? You're going to catch some arrows. I mean, granted, that's part of the territory. Even if you go out there and have a fantastic offseason, you're still going to get criticism depending on what happens throughout the season. So,
well, Eric, here's my thing. Say Ray comes back and has a monster year, goes like 20-8 with an ERA of 3. Okay, we're complaining about Framber's $35 million a year. Do you think the Giants are going to pay? Now, remember, next year will be Skubal. But if Ray has a good year, he might be the second or third best free agent pitcher out there.
Yeah,
are the Giants going to pay $30 million? They're not going to pay. He won't be 25. First of all, he's a lefty, right? So they're going to have to say, okay, you want Skubal for 40? Their agent's going to go, you want my third guy? I want $33 million. So then when you look at it, the $35 million for Framber wasn't that much. You know what I mean? $2 million more to get him. So that's sort of the way you got to think it. Now, if the Giants don't sign him, that's fine too. But you got to remember, you have a guy that is only here this year. So you're going to have to make a decision.
Do you think they extend him?
Decision.
Do you think they extend him? Would you be okay with them extending Robbie Ray? Now look, he's already had his elbow taken care of, so it's probably that won't break down. Let me ask the chat. I'll put a poll out there too, guys. How do you feel?
I'm not sure.
Would you guys be okay with Robbie Ray getting an extension for the San Francisco Giants? I mean, let's put it out there. Hold on, how old is he right now? Anyways, he's already 34. So would you give him? I mean, how many more years has he got? A 2-year extension? 2-year? What is it? 60 million? Somewhere around the 60 million? I don't know. And if you don't extend him, then what's the option? Let's talk about this. Let's walk through this, okay? Next year's pitching staff. Granted, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but you kind of have to do this because what is the future hold for the rotation of the San Francisco Giants? Who can we pencil in next year? 2 guys at this particular time, 2 guys, Logan Webb and Adrian Hauser. Maui is on a 1 year. Ray may be gone. We don't know what's going to happen with Roop. And then what else? And there you go. Now you have 3 rotation spots you got to fill. And all you can do is, again, hope and dream that one of these young pitchers that the Giants have can break through. Because if they don't, well, guess what? You're back in the same freaking boat where you're going to have
like this the last couple of years.
Yeah.
The same situation.
I don't know, man. Again, like I said, putting the cart before the horse. Okay.
Give Ray 7 years, $240 million. The guy's 34. He's going to be 41 at the end of the contract.
He could be Cy Young out there, man. He's going to be Cy Young out there. All right, here we go. The San Francisco time is now. That's a fact, guys. Whether you like it or not, the time frame for the Giants to win is now. You got Chapman, you got Adames, you got Devers. They're going to be here for the next 5+ years. You got Logan Webb, who's going to be here for the next 3 years. Okay. Right now, the Giants have to win. Period. End of story. And what are you going to do to, again, get across that finish line so that they can win now? Look, you sunk a lot of money into all those guys, specifically the first three. Webb is on a team-friendly deal, right? But how do you go halfway? You can't do half measures. You got to go all the way. And when I mean by all the way, by no means am I saying that the Giants have to go out there and spin like the Dodgers. They don't.
No.
Just extend a little bit. Just extend. Period. That's all you got to do. And what I mean by extend, if you have to go over the CBT, so be it. If it makes your team better, right? Now, granted, you don't go freaking crazy. It's okay to do that. Yeah. It's baseball. You're gonna make the money back. It's right. You're gonna make that money back.
Yeah,
and you got the fourth pick. You got the fourth pick in the entire draft.
Yeah. But we need
so
to
you
talk
can afford
about,
to go over to CBT.
Yeah, we need to talk about the next couple of years because, of course, I watched you on the Marty Lewis show yesterday.
Oh, thanks.
And Marty was one of the biggest fans, of course, of our new right fielder. And I say that because he played center. And the year before, he only played 2 weeks, so I don't really count it, his rookie year. But we now have Mr. Lee in right field. And Marty thinks, as Marty said, it's the most exciting year coming up. He's really excited about Lee.
Yeah.
I think Lee still has a lot of questions. You know, I do not want to see the added grounder to second from Lee, grounder to second, or the weak pop.
Yeah, the 4-2-3. I don't want the 4-2-3.
Not only are you really worried about the pitching staff, you got to worry about the starting 9, okay? Glenn's favorite player, of course, is no longer with us. His second favorite player is Bailey. He loves Bailey defensively, but he hates him offensively. So you have a problem with Bailey hitting. Lee, we're not sure, because if you guys remember last year, I'd say in July, we hated Lee. We thought it might have been the worst pickup ever. The guy wasn't worth it, and then he turned it around, and he wound up being our best hitter offensively. Now
he did. He turned it around at the end.
I think he wound up batting like 267, which doesn't sound like much for the Giants. But he was 220. He was batting 208. So again, new position. You got to make sure he at least stays level or even has a better year, because
he has to, right? Yes.
Yeah. If you have a problem with him, we already know about Bader. Bader's a fly ball hitter, and that's where guys can go, and slumps just because that's the way he is. That's why I think Arias is never slumped, because, he doesn't strike out, puts the ball. But the thing with the Giants last year that you guys spoke about on your show, specifically you and Glenn, is the Giants last year struck out way too much.
Yeah.
So it's hard because right now we're depending on guys pitching-wise, bullpen-wise, and even our starting 9 hopefully going to have a better year than last year. But what happens if they don't? What happens if they're just that type of ball player? It's sort of one of those things where Eldridge, another huge question mark. So you have Lee and Eldridge. Well, you know what? I hate to say this, but that's 25% of your lineup. You got to make sure these guys do it. If not, you got to make sure people that can step in and do it. And I think it's one of those things where, yeah, Bailey had one. Okay, I hate to say this. He batted 288 in September, but the season's 7 months. Okay, so you got to have a guy that can go the start of the race and finish strong. And I think we just have so many question marks. But again, that's baseball. Hopefully in May, you guys are saying, Lou, I told you Bailey would turn it around. and Marty could say, hey, I want Lou because Lee's batting 312. Hey, you never saw that, Lou, which is fine. But you guys, we can only go and tell you what they've done in the past. That's why baseball, the biggest thing, and like I'm a big college basketball fan, but guys come in where you're a stud, senior in high school, freshman year, you always have problems. Doesn't matter how good you are. But the biggest leap is your freshman year to your sophomore year. I think for baseball, it's like year 2 to 3. So we have to realize we need Lee. We're paying Lee to be a superstar. He needs to be a superstar. He needs to be that guy that we got, 3 years ago in the offseason, or 3 years. We need him to be a stud, because if we can do that, and you got Luis Arias, and then you got Bader. Now our lineup is competitive. We're actually runners scoring position. We're scoring. I mean, it's amazing. I know we only missed the playoffs, by 3 or 5 games? But if we would have had an extra half run a game, we probably would have had 10 more wins. And then we're in the playoffs. So that's how small it is that we need to improve.
It takes
it's
a
amazing.
Little bit now.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I'm taking a look at this. Interesting. All right, there's some projections. I don't know if you guys see this. Baseball Reference right now, they're starting to put out projections on what each individual player will do. Let's take a look at a little bit of these here. Again, these are projections, guys. Take it for what it's worth, right? But I just want to take a look at this. All right, let's take a look at Robbie Ray. What do they got projected for Robbie Ray? 2026, a 3.9 ERA. Sub 4 is okay. They got him tossing about 154. All right, sounds about right. But I would think that he would pitch more than 154, right? I mean, last year he pitched 180. Again, projections, guys. Exactly. As you say, Spencer, take it with a grain of salt. But again, they're compiling their numbers and yada, yada, yada. So again, that's what they're projecting. All right. Again, that is Robbie Ray going 9-8, 3.9 ERA, 154 innings pitched. Let's see the next guy. Let's see. Let's look at Adrian Hauser. See what Adrian Hauser projection is. They got him going 7-6 with a 4.1 ERA, 120 innings pitched. Okay. That's a what? A number 4? That's probably, those are numbers for a number 4, number 5, right?
And I love how they can tell you how many hit by pitchers.
Yeah, I don't know how they figure that out. Again, I think what they're doing is they tally up all the years and they come out with
average it out.
And they average it out. Exactly. So that's Adrian Hauser. Tyler Mahle. Let's see what they got for Tyler Mahle. They got him only tossing 105. Great ERA, 3.2. I'll take that every day of the week. Every day of the week, I'll take that. But the pitches, again, that's 105. That's not very many. If you're in the rotation and you're going to be, in the number 4, granted, you don't have to pitch as much, but man, 105, you want a little bit more than that. Again, they're taking the averages of what he's done, again, because the guy can't stay on the field. And one thing he hasn't done, he hasn't had surgery on any of these that I know of, right? Or did he have elbow surgery? He might have elbow, but his shoulder, I know the last 2 years he's had issues with his shoulder and he has not had a procedure done that I know of. So I don't know. I don't like shoulders. When you start messing with the shoulder, that elbow is one thing, because that's fairly common today. And you can recover from an elbow surgery fairly quick. Or I should say not quick, but you come back to almost how you were before you went under the knife. Shoulder surgeries, on the other hand, are a little bit more tricky. Again, it's pretty good for Mahle. I like the ERA. I just don't like the innings pitched. Landon Roop. Let's see what they got for Landon Roop. Landon Roop, they got him at 106 innings pitched, a 3.9, almost a 4 ERA. And there you go. And they got him going 6-6. So there you go. Those are just again, like I said, all they are projections. Until the games are played, we just don't know how that's going to pan out. But what concerns me, with the innings pitched. It really does. Like I said, early in the season may be great. Talk to me after the All-Star break.
It's a marathon, because right there, usually you want your starters to at least go 150. You got to remember, most of these guys are going to have 25 starts. So 150 innings is not much.
No.
Right? But, unfortunately, let's go down, since they're the Giants, let's go to 140. Okay? 2 starts less. So that means you got to make up for these innings where they're not starting. And, when you have a bullpen that really, and I use this a lot, but last year we had roles. Everybody knew their roles. We have guys now that aren't sure. And I know you're going to learn in spring training a lot. But, right now, our closer, as I call him, Jekyll and Hyde, you're not sure what you're getting. We don't really have an 8th inning guy. We probably have about 5 or 6 5th, 6th inning guys that we're going to spread out. And, it's tough because a lot of these ERAs, I think you guys might say, oh, my God, they're high, almost 4. Our schedule this year is 8 games harder because of who we play on the road compared to at home. That's why a lot of these ERAs are, more. It's, you got to remember, we don't play 9 games in Colorado anymore. Teams like Detroit are going to be here. Tampa Bay is going to be here, but we have to go to places like Boston. We have to go to Chicago. It's just a tougher schedule, and that's why, when you have holes, it's got problems. But that's it's baseball.
And here's the thing, and if the Giants, for all intents and purposes, right, they're in win now. Would you say that, Lou? Considering the way that they're in win now. So how do you make this team better if you want to win now?
Honestly, if you're not in win now, why did we sign Devers?
There you go. Why did you trade for him? Why did we get
Adames?
Right.
I mean, that's a sign to win now. You probably have a 3-year gap to win with what we have.
There you go. Dallas kind of singing the same tune here, saying expecting innings from Birdsong, Tidwell, Wisenhunt, McDonald. I don't think the Giants have enough. They got to get someone else. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. You can't get to the finish line and then just say, all right, I'm done.
It's almost like
you can't.
Eric, they're almost like trying to play not to win, but not to lose.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you do. We're trying not to lose. That's the worst attitude that you get. And look, I don't think that's Buster Posey's mindset. I think he wants to win. But if you take in totality that the deals that the Giants have done, they are trying to win. What does that mean? It could mean anything. It could mean more than likely it means getting at least into the playoffs. That's win now. No one could sit here and say, even the Dodgers, I'm sorry, even as talented as they are, no one can sit there and say, we are guaranteed to win a ring. That's the goal, right? To win a championship. That's every team's goal. All 30 teams' goal is we want to win the world championship. But that's easier said than done. You got to play the games, right? And you got to have a club that is built to go win those games.
It's 162 games. It's not. Right. It's not 81. Exactly. It's not 80.
No, it's not.
162. Exactly. It's tough, and you're going to have your flows, but
it's the toughest in all of baseball, in all of sport, right? I mean, if you want to, dang it, my internet. You want to say that baseball is probably one of the most, if not the most difficult professional sport to win it all. Because you got to play a grueling 162.
Eric, in the last 50 years, how many times have we had back-to-back champions?
Yeah, there you go.
It just doesn't
happen. There you go. Who was the last time to do it? Exactly. What was it, the Yankees? Was that the Yankees the last time to do that?
Maybe
in the early 2000s?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
It's not. It's not.
And you got to remember, you go through you have injuries, you have problems, fluke things. You might have a guy that has an off year. Anything can happen. I mean, you got to remember last year, the Dodgers total wins was like 116. It was ridiculous. But everyone said, oh my God, look what they have. I don't mean, did they win 100? I think they won like 93 because they don't care, because they won the division and it's all about the playoffs. But the other thing too is you got to remember, once you get to the playoffs, if you remember how exciting the playoffs were this year.
Oh, it was awesome.
A lot of these teams, including the Dodgers 2 years ago, were down. They got lucky. There were series where teams got lucky to advance. That's why baseball is so tough. I think baseball and the NHL are probably the two toughest, because in hockey, you get a goalie that's hot, that's great. But you remember the baseball, it's so brutal. The first series is best out of 3. Best out of 3. Then you have one off game, boom, before you know you're up against the wall. Then it's best out of 5. Only when you get to the championship is it best out of 7, where normally the best team is going to win that. But it's crazy. Anybody can win once you get in.
Now, that being said, you can remove obstacles, right? In trying to get more wins, right? If you build a stronger roster, a la the LA Dodgers, your chances increase. You still got to play 162, but you know what? It could look, it's not impossible, but is it likely? Of course not. Could the Colorado Rockies win the division? They could. Honestly, they could do it, depending. If everything falls the right way, man, it could happen.
They could have a year like we did 2021. Everyone has their best year. Yeah, it's baseball. Every year in baseball, there's one team that comes out of nowhere. Every year, there's one team. And it only takes one thing. Because let me ask you this. When we were talking about World Series predictions numbers, did anybody mention Detroit? They can't. They only got Skubal. Yeah, even though they're a playoff team, they only got Skubal. Now they have a 2-headed monster. Now they're in the conversation.
So it was only takes 2 years ago.
One. Yeah.
Remember what I said last year, Lou, during the season? The 2024 Detroit Tigers came out of nowhere. No one expected them to go anywhere, and they made a run.
They went like 20 and 6.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because that's baseball. That's what can happen and that's the beauty of the game, right?
Yeah.
It's just and look, and what did they do? Last year they went to the playoffs, and this year you go out and add Framber Valdez. That's what winning will do. It gives you that confidence. It's like, hey, let's go out there and let's go do something. And that's all I'm asking of the San Francisco Giants. You've done a great job, right? We can all say that. He went out there and he did a masterful job in plugging all these holes. But the job isn't done yet.
There you go.
Right?
Job is not done. Complete it. Complete the task.
We need another reliever. And look, let's talk about this real quick. There we go. Let's talk about this real quick. Talking about relievers. The non-roster list came out. Non-roster invitee. Okay. Let's take a look at this for the San Francisco Giants. You got Will Bednar, Michael Fulmer, who they just signed to a minor league contract. And look, we'll talk about that. I think that's a fantastic move. And I'll tell you why, because it gives you that depth. Trent Harris, Caleb Killian, Nick I don't know. I don't want to even... Wilkin Ramos, Juan Sanchez, and Gregory Santos. Okay, you got a couple of guys in there that you want to take a look at as far as bullpen. Michael Fulmer, right? I'll go right off the bat. Keep him in the minor. If he's okay with doing that, let him stay in the minor leagues, because if one of these starting pitchers go down, Michael Fulmer could come in and at least eat innings for you, because you need that depth, right? You need that depth. So hey, Michael Fulmer, welcome to the Sacramento River Cats until we need you. Will Bednar, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. That guy's he's been fraught with injury. Can he do anything? Trent Harris, he was talked about last year, Lou. The guy's got like incredible command. Whether or not he'll play in the major leagues, we'll find out. Gregory Santos is a guy that they picked up in the offseason. Remember, he was a Giant. Yeah. They traded him to the White Sox. Now he's back as a Giant. The guy's a flamethrower. Maybe he's going to be a guy in the bullpen. Let's just stick with that. Do you like any of those pitchers as far as your bullpen, Lou?
I mean, to tell you the truth, I only know 3 names.
Right.
So, I don't really want to speak out of turn. I know that shocked some of the chat where, hey, occasionally we're going to talk about a subject we don't know about the Giants. Obviously, they had to have 3 more catchers since we have 500 pitchers. In spring training. The guy, you can't have one guy. The guy won't be able to make opening day. I thought, and then I'll get back to your question. What excited about me, the non-roster, is a couple of the young studs that they say, hey, you might not be there. Yeah, the big 2. That's what excited me with the non-roster players. And then for the pitchers, they're probably, out of this list, maybe one guy might make it. I think the one thing that the Giants were saying is they believe in our youth for pitching. So me not knowing who these guys are, obviously we invited them for a reason. They have something. And, why not see? Now, again, let's remember one thing. Spring training is not the regular season. As you remember last year, there were some guys that went crazy because the Giants had the best record for spring training.
Yeah, that means nothing.
They partied. It means nothing. Now, I know it did carry over to the beginning of the season, which was great, but it didn't last. Because you got to remember, sometimes in spring training, you might be going against a guy that is rookie ball. He just needs to get a start. So let's just, relax. But usually you can find a diamond in the rough. I'd rather find a diamond in the rough of one of these 9 pitchers than the other 23 we have on the 40-man roster that I have no clue, what they are. No clue. And they admit it. Hey, and Marty brought up a great point. They're just hoping they could find one. Well,
I know.
Out of the 23, there's probably 15 I've never seen. I've never heard. And some of these guys, I saw one guy hadn't pitched in 3 years, but he's on the 40-man because we picked him up like Rule 5 or something like that, which is fine because it doesn't cost you anything. But look what we're doing, just trying to find these the extra arms. I just hope that I'm personally wrong where we do have some guy on this page that's going to make a difference on the major league roster.
Well, there you go. That's a great point. Look, we look at these names, right? There's like 19 guys on here. One of them may be the only one that make it because look, there's only so much room that you can have. And more than likely, it's probably going to be none of the position players, to be honest with you. It's probably going to be one of these pitchers. Is it going to be Will Bednar? Again, bullpen is an area of concern for the Giants, right? Michael Fulmer, he's not going to make the team. I could see him going to Sacramento if he accepts that. I don't know what's in his contract. Gregory Santos, he signed a minor league contract. Maybe he'll start off probably in Sacramento, unless he makes a huge impression, right? The guy's he was a flamethrower when he was at the Giants. I don't know how he is now. Those are 2 guys, maybe. I don't know. Catchers, hey, Dodger fans, where's my Dodger fans out there? Come on. And this is again, it follows the line of my thinking. Diego Cartaya, who was he? Wasn't he like a vaunted prospect? Wasn't he like the number 1 prospect at one time with the Los Angeles Dodgers? And look where he is now. He is a non-roster spring training invite to the San Francisco Giants.
And it's not like we don't have 4 catchers already on the 40-man roster.
I know.
So that's the one thing too is you got to see that where
this guy was it goes, if you just don't know these prospects. You just don't know how they're going to pan out. And it doesn't mean, and I'm not sitting here saying that they will never succeed. I'm just saying more times than not, this is where you might find them, right? As a non-roster invitee. But we'll see what happens. Then you got Eric Haas and you got Logan Porter. Again, those guys probably will be in Sacramento or just let go. Basabi for the infielders. Nate Furman, don't know him. Buddy Kennedy, have no idea. Parks Harbor, he's been there's a lot of noise going on with him. He had a pretty good year in high A. But wasn't he an outfielder?
That's what I thought.
Right? Guys, wasn't Parks Harbor an outfielder? How is he coming in as an infielder? Honestly, if someone has the answer, please put it in the chat because I thought he was an outfielder. Okay. Outfielders, Victor Barricado. I know he was kind of high up there a couple of years ago, had a big bat. Bo Davidson, that's going to be someone that's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, Bo Davidson in spring training will be fun to watch. I don't think he's going to make the team coming out of spring training, but I'm just interested to see how he does in spring training. It should be fun to watch. And Jared Olivia, I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, so, and I think Bo Davidson's one of these guys, and this is the problem.
Correct.
Spring training. He could bat 350. People are going, who is this guy? He should be on our major league roster. Again, it's only spring training. But a lot of times teams want him to see how he is up against the upper echelon.
Yes, correct.
Bo's got a chance where in 2 years he could be a stud. And I think the biggest problem about Eldridge is we want him to succeed so bad, right? But Eldridge is still young, as Eric points out every time I get negative on him. The kid's young, but
he is.
For baseball, only a few can zoom right up through single A, double A, triple A, the majors. It takes time.
Thank you.
The other thing, too, it takes time where you have in the offseason, Eldridge came up last year, and everyone sort of knew he had ability, but now they've had a whole offseason to know how to get him out. That's what these teams do. It's not only do the infielders have the cards on where the position, where to play defense, they know how to pitch these guys. And this year, especially with pitching, a lot of these young guys, I assume it's going to be the same as AAA, but, the ball strike where you can, tell people, hey, I thought that was out, and it's not. It's going to be different. So pitching, pitchers are going to have a little advantage this year, I believe, probably for the first months of the season, just because a lot of these guys that have been in the majors for a while, except for the Major League Baseball All-Star game, they've never played where they can actually say, hey, that was a strike or that was a ball. It's something new. They've never done it before. So It's just another aspect to the year.
And here's another thing, too, especially with spring training, right? Until you get later into spring training, you're going to be facing a lot of pitchers that are, not quite major league ready yet, right?
Yeah.
So you might get a false impression of how good the guy really is, because then later on, when you're starting to face more major league players because they're ramping up for the season. And by the way, spring training is going to whip through because some of these guys are going to go off to the WBC.
Right? And you might only have 30 at-bats. So say you get like 3 hits in your first game and 2 hits the next game, all of a sudden people go, my God, the guy's batting 400. The guy's only batted eight times, guys.
Everybody
exactly.
Relax.
You know what I mean? And you don't know who he wwent against.
When we got 3 Giants who are going to be in the WBC, right? You got Logan Webb, Team USA. You got Elliot Ramos for Team Puerto Rico. Hopefully he has insurance. Insurance. Jung Hoo Lee will be paying for Team Korea. So there you go. We got a couple of guys that are going to not even be on the club at the end of spring training or even in the middle of spring training. They're going to be off playing actual competitive baseball. So that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
I tell you what, though. You know what, though, Lou? There's one thing that the Giants, they're not utilizing all the tools available in recruiting players. They just don't. Because nowhere else can they get a Tommy's Margarita. There we go, man. Tommy's Margarita, man. Nowhere else do they have a Tommy's Mexican restaurant, right? There's only one location, and it's in San Francisco.
And just so you guys know, in case somebody's saying, hey, maybe I'll go watch there on the Super Bowl, like a lot of restaurants in San Francisco, they're closed Super Bowl Sunday. So
they are.
They are. A lot of places in San Francisco, because there's, so many parties going on.
Oh, that makes
Nobody
sense.
really goes. So, we're not like where you are, where it's organized. In San Francisco, nothing's ever organized. It's like I've never seen more traffic and people don't know what they're doing, but, that's just something. But, hey, guys, and again, Saturday, March 14th, after the Fan Fest, we're going to be getting together from 3 to 7 at Tommy's. If few surprises we're trying to put together, but it's going to be an awesome time. And, we're excited to meet you guys, just as excited that you guys might be able to get excited when you see us. Of course, I'll be in a mask and you have to figure out which guy I am. But, we'll just go and have fun. And that's what it's about. And that's really where the season's going to start. The WBC will be going.
Yes.
Opening day is less than 2 weeks. Giants,
Dude,
who knows? Maybe,
right?
Yeah, it's going to be right there. So
we're gonna have a meet and greet there on March 14th, which is 10 days away? No, 11 days from opening day, or I should say opening night for the MLB. It's gonna be awesome, man. Gosh, it's gonna be a lot of things are coming together for that little shindig that we'll have on March 14th. So you guys, again, if you got nothing going on March 14th, go down to Tommy's Mexican on Geary.
Go to the Fan Fest, take an Uber Lyft to 24th and Gary, and we'll be there waiting for you. And we're gonna go. We're gonna do a show. So I don't know how to do it, but Glenn says we're gonna do something live, so you'll be able to do it. And it's all about just having fun.
And by the way, guys, we don't know your actual names, so if you come in and you go, "Hey, what's up?" I'll be like, "Hey, what's up?"
There's no voice. We can't even know your voices.
We don't know. We don't know your real names. Well, some of them we know your real names, but come on, man,
come by, have fun. So that's what it's all about.
It's going to be a blast. Kyle, what's up? Hey, Kyle, got some news for you, man. Big boy's coming back. The big boy coming back. It's going to be coming through Roseville in April. Yes, buddy. As a matter of fact, I think it arrives in Roseville on April 10th. It's going to come across Donner Pass and come into Roseville. It's not going to come down from the north. So, in case you want to know, Kyle, the big boy, it's on its way back for the 250th anniversary of our country. So, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Okay, hey guys, I got to tell you, and Lou, you got to let me know if you're interested. I'm firing it up again against my better judgment.
Is this fantasy?
Yeah. Hey, we're going to make it cheaper this year. Look, it's all about fun.
Yeah, of course.
Okay? We're going to come here. We're going to have fun. I'm going to be the commissioner. There's a few guys that I've carried over from last year. But
I just heard your mentality, and I said it's got to be fantasy. It's got to be fantasy.
It is. Luke, are you in? Do you want to play? It's up to you.
I'm always up for that. I haven't done fantasy in about 5 years, but I'll always be in. Especially if it's just NorCal guys, that's perfect.
There you go. So me, Glenn, and Lou will definitely be in there. At this time, Robbie Dizzle, Senior, and Ibrahim are also in from last year. So again, by the way, Greg should be coming in. I don't know if Greg's out there. I think Greg's going to be part of it. So if you're interested, let me know. $30 is going to be the entrance fee. That's nothing. That's nothing, exactly. Because I want it to where it's not going to freaking break the bank. No. Right? So we'll see what happens.
And it's a whole year thing. That's always fun.
Oh, and it's points. It's not. I tell you what. And
I got to read the rules. I understand.
I'll
let you guys have all the Giants you want. No problem.
So it should be a lot of fun. More will come in. Yeah. Are you in, Anthony? All right. We'll see. I'll take a list down. We'll get it more firmed up here as the time goes by. Right now, I got the draft set on March 23rd. March 23rd, 2 days before opening day. The reason why I do that is because
Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember. Yeah, Monday.
I think it's a Monday. It's a Monday. I want to make sure that there's no injuries, right? Yeah, I don't want to draft a couple of days before and all of a sudden Shohei Ohtani blows out a freaking hammy or something. You know what I'm saying? It ruins everything. So.
Monday's a good day because you've already had the first round of the NCAAs. There's nothing to do on that Monday. And then you got opening day 2 days after. Perfect. Good timing.
Exactly. Anthony, are you thinking about it or are you for sure in? Let me know. Let me know, Anthony, so I could start plugging in some more of these names here. But it should be fun. Look, I'm going to be the commissioner, and I'm going to rule it with an iron fist. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
But I'm going to have specific rules, okay? And just so you guys know, I'm going to use Yahoo as the platform in tracking the points. But I'm going to make the rules, okay? I'm making the rules because there's some weird stuff with Yahoo that I don't like. And yeah, so I'm going to fix that.
No
One way or another, I'm fixing that. And then I'm going to make sure I got it laid out. So everyone knows as we're going into the season, hey, this is good. This isn't good. And we'll go from there. Should be fun. All right, cool. All right. So Anthony, I'm going to write you down. You've been around here. You're going to do me a favor, Anthony. Send me your email. I don't know if you sent an email. Yeah, you have sent an email for the Giant Sports Talk Live. I will send you the link so that you could join up. So there you go. Cool. So it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to doing that. Anyways, got a lot going on, man. It's going to get here before Lou. This is February, man. The year is already flying by, man.
And
we
it's
already
a
got
short
a year
month.
in the books.
Short month.
Oh my gosh.
And
it is, right?
28 days already in March. Eyes of March.
Yeah.
So it's remember, we just came off 31 days. What is it? 27? Is it leap year this year? 27 or 28? I don't even know how many days.
I don't know. Is it a leap year? I have no idea if this year is a leap year.
So
Can Dodger fans? Of course, Dodger fans are good. You good, Benji? You good, Benji? I'll bring you in here, man. It'll be fun. Yeah, I don't care. It's there's no team allegiance in fantasy, right? No team allegiance.
It's all about points.
Right? If you think I could get Shohei Ohtani, of course I'm going to get Shohei Ohtani. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know. Benji, are you interested? If you are, I'll write you down and send us an email. Next leap year is 2028. Okay, so we're good.
It's 28 months. So, but yeah, 24 more days in the month. It goes that quick. I mean, my God.
There is so much, man. There is so much. I mean, before you look, March 14th, we got our shindig. March 24th, Marty has his shindig, Mardi Gras. And then the next day, it's opening night, man. Gosh, dang, man. Golly. And
and we got to figure out for Anonymous what game he's going to come with us.
Well, I already know. It's Dilly. Dilly is going to take his spot. So
okay, yeah, because I get my tickets. I think Saturday. I finally get.
Matter of fact,
brother.
I'll email him because I know it's either a Tuesday or Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, we'll just see. What we do. Hey, it's all about the chat. So we'll give him 6 games. He picks what game works out for the best for him and Eric, since Eric's going to be driving down. I mean, Glenn lives across the street. I live in the city. It's not a problem, but we want to make sure it works for both you guys. That's what's most important.
Right. Here, let me see something. I think I got it in here. Let's see. See, I don't have Anthony. You're going to have to send an email, man. Anthony, send us an email because I don't know what I just typed in your name and it's not popping up. So send us an email so I know exactly what to send a link to if you want to join up. So, oh man, I tell you what, man, I don't know how the Giants are. Again, like I said, maybe this is the rotation that they're going to run with. It's going to be a little bit weird.
I still think something's going to happen because
I think so.
The 48 hours, 72 hours ago, we were like all bummed. 48 hours ago, we were all excited. Now, 48 hours later, we're sort of bummed. But
God, I know.
Baseball happens.
It was just it was there was a culmination, right? There was a culmination.
I was excited for you to get your new jersey of him.
I was waiting for the Valdez jersey, the number 59.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, what is up? Rosemond. He's out there. He came back from Ohio. Must have been cold out there, huh? Got to be a trade cookie. You think so, JB? I don't know, man. Who are you going to trade for at this particular time?
And who do we have that is tradable?
Yeah,
we have so many young guys that we're trying to get on the roster. It's sort of tricky, So
office hours. Office hours. You working for a professor? Is that what you're doing, Rosemond? You working for a professor? You doing a little internship or something? That's pretty cool. Nice, but I don't know. And it's funny, Lou. Before we get out of here, I really thought the Giants were going to do some kind of big trade, and they wind up never doing that. The big trade really never came through.
Yep.
Will Hemisphere asking, and Lou, I'll let you take this because I don't have no idea what a Porzingis is. What the fuck's a Porzingis? Is that a burrito? Is that a burrito that you could get at Tommy's Mexican?
No,
I have no idea.
Giants. I mean, the Warriors made a trade. You know, Porzingis is good, but the problem is, you know, he's not really an inside presence. And I think the thing with the Warriors is they already have 6 guys that just shoot 3-pointers. I know one of the guys we traded was a 3-point specialist, but we live and die by the outside. And I think the Warriors need a little bit more, especially where they're getting older. And they didn't really get athletic. You know, Kuminga was probably the most athletic guy. I'm not a fan of Bozo. I think the Warriors are done. I don't see them making the playoffs. They're starting to break down, and it's getting though. If it was me, I would have done whatever it takes to get somebody else. But again, it's all about money, and I would never made the trade with Milwaukee and given it 4 years of draft picks. You got to remember, Steph has only signed 2 more years after this. He's going to be 40 years old. The Warriors are old. They need to get more young and athletic to compete with the teams like OKC, Houston, and other teams. So that's just me. I mean, look at San Antonio. They're young and athletic, and that's the NBA right now. So
DL says, Eric and Lou, who should the Giants pursue for pitching? I don't know. People are talking about Zach Gallen. If you're going to have to pay the penalty, I would rather have paid Framber.
Yeah. You're almost now, you shouldn't do anything.
Penalty, right?
You might as well just take a step back. Yeah. I mean, Framber was that good of a pitcher. You get him, you go to the next level. Now that you can't get him, don't do something dumb. Oh, my God, we need somebody. Let's just do that. Don't. Take a step back, think about it. And then, you know what? Maybe it's just a blessing in disguise. Everything happens for a reason. Serendipity. Everything happens for a reason where, it's just one of those things.
His last year was atrocious. Prior to that, he's been decent. Is it a one-off?
But he's been very good at home. Very good at home. He's been great at home, but on the road, he's been getting shellacked.
Look at this. Let's go back to 2022. 184 innings.
And do they have the home and the away?
Yeah, I can look at that. The home splits. 2.54 ERA, 12-4 in 2022. Fantastic. 2023, another decent year. 17-9, 3.4. That's good. 210. 2024. Looked like he had battled a little bit of injury. 148. ERA climbed a little bit, but was still 14-6. And then last year, threw 192 innings. But look at that ERA. You want to talk about a bloated ERA. Look at his ERA plus. 158, 126, 115, progressively going down. Again, ERA plus is taking in consideration the ballpark that you pitch in, and down to 89. So it's progressively gone down. And as you can see, his ERA has gone up from 2.5 to 3.4 to 3.6, and then a balloon. Now, this one's a little bit more than I thought it would be, but I don't know, man. Where was the split? Hold on. It's up here somewhere.
And I know against the Giants, he pitched well against the Giants, but I remember before the Giants went to Phoenix, he lost like 5 straight with an ERA of like 6. And then, of course, you almost pitched a no-hitter against the Giants, which, obviously happens a lot. It's just, some people have their number.
Home and away. Home, 3.61. Well, no, it's strikeouts. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, my gosh. Where am I at? ERA at home, 3.2. On away, 3.9. So, yeah. He pitches better now. If you go to Oracle Park, it's going to go up a lot more, right? I mean, what I mean by it, I shouldn't say go up. His performance will improve at Oracle Park than it would on the road. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. It's Oracle Park. It's a freaking pitcher's dream to pitch in Oracle Park for the simple fact that you're not going to – well, I shouldn't say you won't, but if you're a good pitcher, more than likely you're going to have a good – but I don't know if Gallen's the answer, man. I mean, it's honestly, would it be better than would the rotation be better with Gallen? It would be. But is it going to be
not by much?
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. I just don't think the Giants are going to do it. I think that I just don't see it. I think this is what we got, Lou. Let's get the heck out of here. How about that?
Hey, guys, I just want to tell you, nothing's wrong with me. Just the Super Bowl's in town, so I actually have to work. So I'm not going to be back on for a week. So there's nothing wrong. It's just, sorry, guys. Some of us have
no worries.
Job, so
yeah, I hear you.
But,
yeah,
I will
exactly.
be checking in left and right, being super busy. Most importantly, everybody have a safe Super Bowl Sunday. Drinking wise, I know it's easier said than done. Don't do anything dumb, because when I come back, I want to see you on the chat.
There you go. Absolutely. Now, you're not going to be here Friday, right? For sure.
Yeah, I'm not here Friday. Well, yeah. Oh, that's right. We don't do this with the weekend show. Friday and Monday, they're all flying out, and I'm sort of the designated driver.
Sure.
So I'm going to be going back in for airports, but I'll definitely be back the following week. But, it's one of those things. But most importantly, guys, I know the Niners aren't in there, but enjoy the Super Bowl. It's
exactly
probably one of the 5 biggest days being an American. So enjoy it.
There you go. And we'll be back. Me and Glenn will be back on Friday night. What the hell are we going to talk about? Maybe, I don't know.
48 hours away, anything's possible.
Anything's possible, right? That's a fact. Hey, look at that. Will Hemisphere. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in chat before. Welcome to the fraternity we call Giant Sports Live. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. But again, we'll be back here Friday night, 8 o'clock. We'll do it all over again. And again, guys, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your Thursday. See you back Friday night. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.